So today we are taking the topic as per your class script. What they have told the topic or spending is fear and anxiety. So today we'll be dealing with fear. Okay. So coming to the outline of fear, when a question has been asked for you for fear, first thing you need to ask right is that what is the definition of fear? Okay. What is the definition of the fear? Then followed by what are the types of fear? Okay. Then what are the determinants of fear? Okay, and the last, how do you manage fear? So when a question is asked for fear, because fear commonly it is asked as a 4-mark question as well as it's commonly asked as an 8-mark question, fear and management. Okay, so coming to the definition of fear. So fear is defined as an unpleasant emotion. Whenever you have fear, it's an unpleasant emotion. Okay, so unpleasant emotional state consisting of psychological and psychophysiological response. Psychophysiological response means either you will start shivering or you will start crying, all those things. Okay, so psychophysiological response to a real external threat or danger, including agitation, alertness, tension, and mobilization of the alarm reaction. Okay, so basically when somebody asks you what is fear, means fear is an unpleasant emotional state. Okay, so and the whatever I have explained here, that state consisting of psychological and psychophysiological response, that is how the fear is manifested. Okay, so this is the definition of fear. So now coming to the types of fear. So there are two classifications you can see for fear. One is fear can be broadly classified as 3 types. One is the innate fear, second is the objective fear, and third is the subjective fear. Okay, and recently if you see other textbooks, you can see a different version of classification of fear. The fear can be classified as 2 types. This is a general fear and general fear, because they have taken into account of the entire fear as a whole. Okay, so the general fear means it's a fear as a whole. Okay, so in general fear, again it is classified as 2 types. Okay, active or real or an objective fear, or imaginative fear or imagined fear, that is subjective fear. Okay, then general fear, in general fear it is again there are 5 types of general fear. There is a fear of pain or its anticipation, fear of betrayal, fear of loss of control, fear of unknown, and fear of intrusion. Okay, so these are the different types of general fear, and these are the different types of general fear. So these are the 2 classifications. The previous one is one classification, and the second one is the another classification for fear. Now coming to the innate fear. Okay, so now we are explaining about the different types of fear. First, coming to the innate fear. Innate fear means it is an instinct that is present in every human being. Say for example, you are scared of God, that is your innate fear. Means any person who is born with certain fear in them, that is called as an innate fear. Now coming to the objective fear. Objective fear means a direct physical stimulation of sense organs and are generally not of parental origin, which means that, see, if you are getting scared, the 5 senses will act on that, correspond to that objective fear. Then response to stimuli that are felt, seen, heard, smelled, tasted, and are of a disagreeable or unpleasant in nature. Okay, and previously associated with an unpleasant stage. So that is called as an objective fear. So you might be a little confused by all the stimuli and all those things. So we can put it across in this way. Okay, a person with an objective fear, say for example, all child are fear of white coat, right? So when a child is scared about the white coat or white uniform or the smell of a hospital, that comes under the objective fear, which means that whoever is putting all these things is going to harm that person. So when that thing comes, what happens? The direct physical stimulation of the sense organ will happen. He'll start crying. He'll start, somehow he wants to escape from there. So the entire, the mood of the child changes. Okay, and generally they are not a parental origin one. Parental origin means the parent has never told them that if you go to a hospital they'll get hurt, or if you go to this particular person they'll get hurt. So the parent has never told. So it is not a parental origin. Whereas innate fear is a parental origin one. But parents is the one that taught you that okay, if you tell lies, there will be you will get it's not right for you. The God will punish you. All those things are innate fear. That is mainly that is being given by the, or that is being taken from the parental origin. Okay, and the third one is associative in nature. Associative in nature means automatically, see, once he will associate things with the objective fear. Okay, fine, white person, white coat has come, so now they will be taking something, they'll put something into my mouth, they are going to hurt me. So that will happen. Okay, so what happens, it can be overcome by a logical reasoning. Means if you talk to the child, if you nicely communicate with the child and say that who's wearing the white coat is not going to harm that person or harm him. So automatically when you logically train the child, this objective fear can be removed. Okay, so this objective fear you can correlate with the theories of psychology given by classical conditioning theory. Okay, now coming to the subjective fear. Now subjective fears is nothing but okay, so it is based on feelings and attitudes that have been suggested to a child by others about him without the child having had an experience personally. Which means that imagine that you are sitting outside, like the picture is saying, no? You're sitting outside the dental clinic, or you're sitting outside a place where a procedure is done. Okay, and you can see the child, a person who's there inside the room is making noise, it's painful, blah blah, crying and all those things. Okay, so what happens, automatically the person who is sitting outside, he has never undergone the procedure, he has not got anything, or he doesn't know what is happening, or nothing he knows, but automatically he will get a fear. That is called as a subjective fear. This subjective fear is, again, I can say that the subjective fear is what do you say, sometimes your friends would have told you, okay, if you want to put the braces, the 4 teeth has to be removed. So automatically you will get tensed. Okay, why unnecessarily my 4 teeth has to be removed? Or sometimes the your friends would have told you that you want to go to the dentist, you are going to get hurt, he's going to put injections, all those things comes, right? So that is called as a subjective fear. So it is very clear, fear of unknown. You don't know, you have not experienced, still you are having fear. So that is subjective fear. The feelings and attitudes suggested by others or parents or siblings or peers, etc., 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 that list continues. Whoever, sometimes the child might sit one time very nicely to you and he would have taken the treatment. Next time when the child comes, he'll be crying, yelling. Why? Because when you ask the child, he'll say that my friend has told me that when the water machine comes, he'll get paid. So that is subjective fear. So it's a long-standing fear and may be difficult to overcome or eradicate, because the age of the child is he's in his toddler. So toddlers, what happens in the psychology we would have discussed, no? Toddlers, they will mainly depend upon the parents or the teachers or the friends, what they say. So it's very difficult to, because it will take time to eradicate that fear. So next comes to your dental fear. Dental fear, again, it's a different version of what I should say, your subjective fear, that is fear of pain or and its anticipation. Means you will sit and think, okay, tomorrow I am having an appointment with the dentist and he's going to hurt me. All those things will start coming in your mind. Okay, so that is called as a dental fear. Fear of betrayal. The fear of betrayal means, as the name suggests, the children learn to trust. As you say, the first thing what you want to develop with the child is a trust. Okay, the children will learn to trust or distrust the dental personnel from their parents before they have any direct contact with such person. Which means sometimes the parents might say that, okay, if you make noise or if you are naughty at home, they will go take to the dentist and remove the tooth. So that is the picture the child will have. So automatically what happens, the trust, the instead of developing a trust, there will be a distrust that will be forming. So he or she thinks that, okay, dentist is somebody who's, who's going to hurt him. So that's called fear of betrayal. Then fear of loss of when the parents, the children have an innate sense of thought, and the thought process, their own boundaries that defines the social from personal control. So exactly, the loss of control means, imagine that till now the child will be having in it's basically a different type of separation, I should say. The parent, imagine the parent is leaving the child at the daycare, and he is leaving. So what happens, automatically the child will lose control over him, and he'll start developing a fear. That's called as the fear of loss of control. Now coming to the next part of the fear, that is determinants of fear. So there are certain certain things that determines the fear. That is, the first is the dental behavior management problem. Imagine that the child is having some behavioral management problems, then the eradication of the fear will be little difficult. Then mother-child relationship. So in behavior management, I would have taught you that the maternal anxiety and the effect of behavior on child. There are different types of mother, like overprotective, underprotecting, and all those things. Then the temperament. Then the pain and anxiety of the child. Then the predictability and controllability. Then age and gender, communication, age of onset, the culture, ethnicity, and socioeconomic status. Okay, the physical disability, genetics, determinants related to the dentist, and psychological and emotional determinants. So this is a pictorial representation of the determinants of fear, and based upon the different aspects I have told you. Now coming to the various behavior management strategies, or you can say that your management of fear. Okay, so first is the primary prevention. We have put it in a different, the primary prevention, secondary prevention, and tertiary prevention, and the pharmacological management. That is the 4 headings we have made. Okay, the first thing is the home and child rearing. Okay, at home, instead of giving a negative feedback about the dentist, okay, you should the parents should motivate the child and make him realize that the oral hygiene importance of the oral hygiene. Second one is the pre-appointment approaches. Means in the pre-appointment, when the in first dental visit, there is something called as pre-appointments, right? In the pre-appointments, try to get maximum data about the particular child. So in the approach, you should take them, what is his name, what is his nickname, what is his friends, and which is his favorite teacher, and all those things. So when you start telling them their familiar people, so he thinks that you will have that he thinks that he is one among them, or you are one among them. Okay, and a safe and controlled environment means whenever you are giving an appointment for the child, make sure that there are no other child sitting inside the operatory and making noise, crying, yelling. Those things can be avoided. Then sense of control to the child. Then introduction to the child to the dental office. So you guys will be familiar, no, how the child should be introduced to the dental office. He should be taken. He should be introduced to the receptionist. You should take a tour of the dental operatory. You should make the child make him familiarize each things what is there in the dental clinic. Okay. Now next is the secondary prevention or the behavioral therapy. That is communication. There are 2 types of communications. All those things we have explained already in our behavior management. Okay, euphemisms. That is you can name them. You can give life to the certain objects. Say for example, if you are giving an LA, you can tell that I am putting a solution that makes your teeth sleep. Okay, imagine that you are putting a aerator. Tell them that I am putting a machine that will wash the teeth. Okay, fine. Then the next is the guidance or cooperation models. That is nothing but your modeling. Then time structuring. You structure. You structure the appointments, structure the time that is required for the particular procedure and then sit for the patient. Then next, distraction. Okay, then behavior modification, then parent and the operatory. So these are all the secondary prevention approaches for the management of fearful child. The next is the tertiary behavior management, that is nothing but your desensitization, modeling, tell show do technique, then the combined behavioral treatments, all those things can be used. Imagine these three things are used and the child is not sitting properly. He is not at all sitting properly, he is yelling, he is crying. The next option is nothing but your pharmacological behavior management. Either you can go for a conscious sedation therapy or you can go for a general anesthesia therapy. Okay, fine. So that is the different types of management of dental fear. Now, coming to the questions, that is what you will be expecting, right? So coming to the questions, the main questions that has come on the previous question papers are define fear. Definition of fear has come as a 3-mark question once. Okay, then what are the different types of fear? Then enumerate the determinants of fear. That is again a question that has come. Then outline the approaches of management of fear. So what you can, if in short, if I tell the outline for the management of the fear of dental fear, first thing is you need to write the definition of the fear, then the types or classify fear, then write about the determinants of the fear and write about the management of the fear. So ideally this question has been asked for 3 marks, 4 marks or 8 marks, short note or short essay. This is the commonly asked either short note or short essay. Okay. So thank you. And if you have any questions, please ask.